Kobe Bryant was one of the most famous and respected basketball players the world has ever seen at that time. Even if you didn't watch basketball, you could just be admiring how skillful he was, and he was extremely motivational to even people like me who don't play basketball. But despite all of this, he had his so-called fans disrespect him. And you might be wondering, Ken, I'm a fan. I've never disrespected Kobe. Yeah, well, let me explain what happened. Alright, so I found out about these fake Kobe fans from working at a hat store. I'm not gonna say which hat store, but with that color scheme, maybe you would know. Just saying. I work as an ASM, basically an assistant manager. And I've been working there for a couple years, and I've seen it all. I've seen rude people, I've seen crazy people, As a retail worker, you tend to see all these crazy things. After Kobe's passing, this hat company was like, hey, you know what? We wanna do something for the fans. We wanna do something to commemorate his life. And I was like, okay, cool. So what they ended up doing is they started doing free embroideries on hats. And embroideries are basically, you see this machine right here? You put in the hat in there and you stitch one of these designs. Now, the crazy thing about this logo here with the yellow wings and like the black number, we weren't even allowed to do that. I'm gonna get into it later, but this is technically not allowed by the company. So it was great that the hat store provided free embroideries, and I think that's an awesome feature. But of course, whenever you say the word free, people tend to take advantage of that. So here was the problem with doing this. The hat company did not set clear regulations. I had people bringing in their old, crusty hats. Look at this shit. Look at these old, crusty hats. Look at it. I'd have to touch that shit. And honestly, I'm surprised I didn't get the coronavirus. People would bring in their rugged, beat up, disgusting looking hats being like, it's free though, right? The stitch, it's free, right? And you're looking at it like, why did I not bring gloves to work? Why did I expect people to actually buy a new Lakers hat and then get the stitching on a new hat? I was dumb to think, people would actually want to do Kobe right. Instead, they disrespected him by bringing these crusty hats to me. And I'm like, looking at him like, are you serious right now? How are you looking at me with a straight face going, R.I.P. Kobe, and bringing me your crusty hat? I don't get people, man. So here's the problem, right? Not only did people bring their crusty, dusty, musty, disgusting hats, the company had a hard time setting regulations. So in the beginning, most people wanted to get, a certain design. And at first, the company was all like, hey, you can do any color, and we didn't really set any regulations. So you're like, okay, cool. So you have people bring in 4, 5, 6, 8 hats at a time and being like, okay, I want this design with these colors. And then later the company's like, oh shoot, I think we're losing a little bit too much money on this. Let's just make it black and white stitching. Let's make it simple. Here's a problem with that. Now you're giving some people the colors with the cool stitching, and then you're giving other people just the black and white. They don't get to have the fun colors. And then you get people who get mad at me saying, oh, you did it for this person, but why can't you do it now? What? Do you think I make the rules? At the end of the day, I didn't even want to just do the black and white because it didn't look good on some hats. It was just a pain. Many people came in who were extremely impatient and very rude, and a lot of them forgot that it's free. But in all seriousness, I'm used to it. I'm used to rude people. I'm used to mean people. I'm used to people treating me like shit. I have a very low bar set for humanity. And having that low bar set, I am only surprised at the most extreme cases. But there was one woman who took it too far. So apparently she had come in earlier, I don't know when, I wasn't working, and she was all like, hey, I want my hats to be done, whatever. Cool, everyone wants to get their hats done. But keep in mind, because so many people wanted to get their free shit, I had like almost 80 hats in the back, and I'm still getting more. So this woman, she calls the store phone, and I'm struggling. You see me over there? You over there? You see me? I'm trying to get the phone. I'm trying to call people, do embroideries, and ring people up at the same time. This woman calls me, and then she's like, "Okay, are my hats done?" And I'm like, what was your last name? And this is where it starts. She's like, okay, my last name is, let's just say Gonzalez. And I was like, okay, cool. So I look into the G section. I don't see it. So I was like, okay, fine. So then I go to all the bags and all the hats that haven't been sorted yet because we haven't even gotten done to completing them. I take a look through those and I'm taking a while. It's taking like 20-30 minutes, and she's getting impatient. She's like, have you lost my hats? Have you lost my hats? And I'm like, no, I just have to like ring somebody up, go to an embroidery machine, and then go find your hats, and then do this and do that and run all around and try to maintain the store and watch for people trying to steal stuff. It's a whole mess. And this whole time, this woman starts cursing at me. You know, as someone who works in retail, I kept my cool. I was just like, oh, well, yeah, we found your hats. It looks like you're number 65. I do have 65 orders ahead of you. And I have to get those done first. And she wasn't having any of it. She was like, I was promised it 1 week in advance. Blah, 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 blah. And I was like, whoa. Okay, chill. All right, you know what? Fine. I'm gonna just do her hats, right? I'm gonna just do them, get it out of the way, because I didn't want to deal with her yelling at me. Maybe she had a bad day. Maybe she had some kind of event to go to. I was like, whatever. I'm just gonna do her hats really quick. It's just 3 hats. I'm gonna get it done and then call her back. So I called her slip that she left with her hats. And what was funny is the number on the slip that she left with the hats was different from the number that she called me initially in this scene. Oop. So I called that number on the slip, and it was either her husband or boyfriend, and he's like, hello, and I was like, hey, I'm so sorry, I got your hats done earlier. I cut everyone else because I know you guys had something to do, and I think it was either your girlfriend or your wife seemed like really upset. I got it done for you. And he was all like, she did what? And I was all like, what? She seemed kind of angry, and he was like, what'd she say? I was like, well, she just needed it, and you know, she just seemed very upset. And so the guy's like, okay, cool. Thank you for doing my hats. Cool, whatever. And then she walks in like within the next like 3 hours. And hey, she has the decency to apologize. But she's all like, hey, you know what? I'm sorry, I shouldn't have acted that way. And this is a thing that blew me away. I've never had a customer apologize for me when they got mad initially. I'm not here to be like, oh, I'm not gonna forgive you, I'm gonna report you, this and that, the other. But keep in mind, I got all these customers over that way waiting as she's like being like, yeah, you know, I'm so sorry, and you know, as she's putting on a lipstick, and I'm just like, please, I just want to get these hats done, man. I'm tired. You know what? I appreciate the fact that she apologized, because most people, they'll just be like, man, fuck you, I don't give a shit, man. Fuck you, bitch. As you can see here, over here, I have my bags. So this is where everything was organized and everything. We organized it by last name and this and that. And I still got crazy people. So I was stitching something on the machine, and at the time we had just learned that we weren't allowed to put like R.I.P. Kobe or Mamba or anything Kobe, because the company wanted to basically try to avoid any lawsuits. So you have this guy come in, and he's, you know, we were finishing one more, I believe it was like Rest in Peace Kobe or something like that, for a customer that we promised before the hat company said it wasn't okay. At this point, we asked upper management, they're like, just finish it, just get it done, no more, we're not allowed to do that, blah, blah, blah. But this guy happened to come in right before we were closing, right when we were just trying to finish those hats, get them out, and just forget about them. This guy comes in, he's all like, wow, that looks nice. I like the R.I.P. Kobe thing. And, you know, at this point, I'm like looking at him like, bro, we're not allowed to do that. And we try to explain to him that, no, we're not allowed to do this. This was for another order that we're just finishing up. We're not allowed to do this. This was before we were told, etc., etc., etc. But this guy didn't care. He was like, here, let me make a deal here. Let me give you $50. You do it, and I go out. And here's a problem with that, right? Once you do that for somebody, you have to do it for everybody, or you're gonna get reported and then you're gonna get fired. So what, you're gonna do that for everybody now and then have the company find out? No. So me and my homie were like, no, we're not gonna do it for you. And he kept going on. He's like, how about $100? How about $200? And I was kind of joking, right? I was like, it has to be more. And he kept raising the price. And I'm like, bro, get you and your smug ass face out of here, bro. I'm trying to close the store. I'm trying to leave. I'm not trying to have all this shit. And then, you know, you see me down here running, getting on the phone and grabbing packages. This is how I know most people were like fucking fake fans, right? They got their hat stitched. They had it done, made it look all nice. Me and my coworker spent so much time making them look great. And then they don't pick it up. I have to keep nagging them to pick up it or pick it up. The same guy, I don't know if it was the same guy, but I made it the same guy in this story, was all like, hey, I'm a huge Kobe fan. I've loved him. I've been watching him forever. And I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. But then something strange happened. He was all like, man, I remember Kobe in his college days when he played at UCLA. That was a good times, man. And I'm like, huh? Wait, did he just say UCLA? Kobe? College? Even I know that he went from high school straight to the NBA. But then I started doubting myself. I was like, wait, what did he just say? Maybe I just don't know Kobe well enough. So I look it up on my phone, and no, he went from like high school to college. Or not college. He went from high school to NBA. Damn, see, this guy's already making me confused. I was like, man, you just want your free shit and you want to act like you're a Kobe fan. Don't act like it, man. Just admit you want the free thing. But despite all that, I'm happy that this hat store did this commemoration. I think it was a great thing to say, hey, we're going to recognize this person because he added so much to LA especially. And I think this is something that Hat Store only did for LA stores. Kind of makes sense, you know. LA, Kobe, it's like this. You know what I'm saying? And it sucks because here's the thing. As many embroideries of that I did, I still haven't done my own. And I actually can't anymore because the hat company said no more. So that means I never got to get my Kobe embroidery, even though I work at the hat store. But you know what? It's okay. I'm just happy that the company did something for Kobe because he's an inspiration to many. And I honestly believe that his spirit lives on till this day. And you know what? Kobe Bryant is a living legend. And I say is instead of was because legends never die.